Today, I'm going to give you my impression and a little review of the Godox TT350 Speedlight. Let's have a look. We get the box. We get a nice box. It's quite nice. It's pretty good. It's good quality. Seems like it's going to be a nice product. So let's have a look at what we actually get inside. What we get is a nice bag. Let's just throw that down there out of the way. So we get a nice little bag pouch that it comes in, which is velcroed and is a sort of padded material, which contains the Speedlight itself. So we'll just put that down for a second. What else do we get in here? We get a set of feet, which allows us to then slip it. That is a nice little sort of little portion of a sleeve inside this that it fits into. So it's separate from the actual Speedlight itself. So with that, we've got that now. Let's have a look at the actual Speedlight itself. Well, first impressions are it's actually pretty small. It's a lot smaller than I expected it to be. It comes with a removable diffuser, although obviously it does have the standard diffuser and the bounce card at the back. As you can see, you can use those together or independently, although initial pulling them out is together. So if I wanted just a bounce card, I'd just slip the diffuser back in and I can just use a bounce card on its own, or I can just pull them out and I can slip the bounce card back in, and I've just got the diffuser attached to the front. It is pretty small. It's and in a good way. It's small in a good way. It seems really well built. It's got a 7 degree to 90 degree expansion on the arm, and it will also go right the way around to a 180, so you can do it backwards if you want. It's ideal for the mirrorless type of cameras, which are a little bit smaller than DSLRs, although it's perfectly usable on a DSLR. I have used this in a photo shoot already to test it out, see what it's like, and it is really good. It's a Godox Speedlight, which is a Chinese company. But I mean, what companies aren't Chinese nowadays? And they make several different versions of this. So if you are thinking of buying this, there is a letter at the side of the number. So mine is a TT350C, which denotes that it's for Canon cameras, the S for Sony, O for Olympus, and so on and so on, N for Nikon, and so on and so on and so on. Yeah, it is really well built. It takes 2 AA batteries in a door at the side here. So you can just pop that open, and then it takes 2 AA batteries inside. Pretty cool. It also, inside here, interestingly, is a USB port, and that is because you can upgrade this, so it is upgradable. They do release firmware for it to allow it to work with other cameras and so on and so forth. So if you've got newer models of Canon camera or Sony or whatever, it will allow you to upgrade it so it will work with those and it will interact with them, etc, etc, etc. As regards the actual settings themselves, you've got a mode button, a zoom button, a sync button, and a slave button, off button, on button, a test flash button, and then you've got a wheel that you can twist, and you've got a set button as well. Now, there are a couple of different modes for this. There is, obviously, this is a TTL flash, so that's evaluative through the lens. So when you're looking at it through the lens, it's almost like auto flash. So it will take how you zoomed in, what frame you're at, and all the rest of it, and it will then power the flash to correspond to that. That allows it to then give the correct amount of light for that particular photo that you're taking. There's also a manual mode, which allows you to obviously use it in manual, and you can do all the things. You can set the power of the flash, etc, etc, etc. And there's also slave mode as well. It has built-in Wi-Fi with it, so it will work with Godox's triggers. You don't need an extra box to sit on the back or anything. You just turn the Wi-Fi on and boom, off you go. It will just fire as a slave on its own. It will also work in a group, and Godox makes several different. They make several different triggers. I think this one has 3 groups on it, so this is an ABC, and I think Godox do one right up to E, so you can A, B, C, D, E. So you can have several different groups. So effectively this will work in conjunction with a load of other flashes. It's also got a seer on here as well at the front, so it will look for another flash going off and then fire itself a millisecond afterwards, which is pretty cool. It also, it's not that expensive. This was, compared to say a Canon flash, which started around, I don't know, 180 quid, something like that, £180. This was £59 as it stands. So it's pretty budget friendly when it comes to being able to get into one of these, because this is sort of historically for sort of amateur photographers who are moving into pro. A Speedlight is kind of like one of the least sexy things you can buy. It's not something that you ordinarily think, oh my gosh, am I definitely going to get one of those? It's sort of like, I need that now, I'll have to go and buy one, kind of thing. And it's budget friendly, and I like that. I like the fact that it's available to everybody. It's not £500, which is what quite a lot of these things are. And it does work really well, really well, in fact. One thing I have noticed is that it can be a little bit difficult to get the Speedlight off your camera if you have not opened this wheel up, this tightening wheel at the bottom. If you've not opened that right up to the basically back to the Speedlight, it can be a little bit difficult to get that off. So that's just one thing to note basically with it. But other than that, it's really cool. It's got a really decent, a decent screen on it, which I think you can see if I just push that over there a little bit. You can see what it looks like. You can see it's ready to flash already. It's got power saving modes. I'm just having a look now, see if there's anything else. There's sync modes. There's all sorts of other stuff it will do. One of the other things that it is actually pretty good at and is useful for is this is high-speed sync compliant, which a lot of the cheaper Speedlights are not high-speed sync compliant. So this will fire up to 1/8,000th of a second. It will carry on going. If your camera allows you to do that, it will allow you to fire up to 1/8,000th of a second. As I say, it can be used up to 20 odd meters away from where you're stood. So that's a long way. 20 meters is quite a fair distance when you actually get it out in a line. That's a fair old distance of being away from your flash to be able to get it to work. But like I say, one of the main benefits to this is it is high speed sync compliant. It's also strobic. That is one of the other modes you can have, which is a strobic option, so it will fire a few times, and then you manage to get the best photo out of that lighting situation. And like I say, it is an exceptionally good piece of kit. So let's just have a closer look at it and see exactly what it looks like, and we'll just go through a couple of the settings. Okay, so the Godox Speedlight, as you can see, it's pretty amazing. It's got a great piece of manoeuvrability to it. It's a nice piece of kit. Let's just switch it on. As you can see, switch it on, and then on comes the screen. And then from there we've got the modes. So you've got multi-mode, you've got TTL, and you've got manual mode. From manual mode you can obviously move it up power. So this is going up power. This is a 1:1 power, right down to 128th power. You can go into here, go to high speed sync, so you just click sync there. Then you've got strobic mode, high speed sync, strobic mode again. From here you've got zoom as well, so you can change the zoom of what your lens is, or to give it the millimeter of zoom of what you're going to be shooting at. So if you wanted a nice wide flash, you can go to 24mm, you can stick it on auto if you want, or you can nip up right up to 105mm, which means it's quite zoomed in. You've got quite a narrow field, but then if you go into 24, you're moving out to a pretty wide field from that point on. So, and then obviously you can change from there. We can go into slave modes. We've got slave 1, we've got slave 2, and from this point what we can also do is you can turn the wireless on. So if we hold the sync button down, we can see the wireless button appears in the bottom corner. We click set on that. So let's just bring that up and do that again. So we press and hold it down, that's fine, yes. So we've got that, we've got master. So we click OK, and we now got our channel setting, which is 2. We're on our group A, and we've got wireless, and we're in manual mode. And from that there, we're in TTL as well. So I can click to manual from here, and then we can then alter our settings as we do as normally, and you're good to go. And effectively, that is basically the menu system that you've got with it. It is pretty foolproof to use, and is a very nice piece of kit. If you hold down the slave button and keep it held down, you can change the channels, so we can go up and down channels. As you can see from here, it is moving up and down. So we're on channel 2, so we click OK on that. We're OK. That's B, that's C, and that's A, and all those can be set individually. So you can set each one to be an individual setting with that. And then you've got a test button here, which allows it to fire off. So if I just fire that off now, as you can see, that fired off pretty quick. And we're back to where we were again. Just click on zoom again, and we can just bring it back down to 24. Click on zoom, and you're all done, and you've got set buttons in the middle. As I say, this all comes off, and then out comes the settings, out comes the flaps for the diffuser and the bounce card, and then you've got further diffuser that goes over the top, like so. On the back side, well on the front side, should I say, you've got a LED IR reader, along with a viewer as well, which is looking for another flash to go off, as I said previously, and then on the sides they're just as they are. So as I say, I would recommend this Speedlight, definitely. I've used it a few times in different photo shoots. It's definitely worthwhile having. It's very small, light and compact, but it's very well built. It works with all of Godox's triggers, the X1T, X Pro and the X2T, the new X2T. It's fine to do work straight out of the box with those. It is X-Sync compliant is what they call it. So that's their wireless technology, their connectivity technology from Godox. It's a very good piece of kit. It has a sleep mode on it, etc, and so is perfectly okay to be, have batteries in it. Will automatically go to sleep if you don't use it for a certain amount of time. That can be switched on and off. Has a bulb mode, etc. It's very good. Yeah, I could wholeheartedly recommend this to anybody who's looking to get a Speedlight. So with that, I hope you found it useful. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.